Oh, it looks like Abubaker is able to join
Oh,
us.
fantastic. Okay, let's bring him on. Abubaker.
Hi.
Hi. It's so good to see you.
Hi, Abubaker. How are you?
Oh, it looks like
he is he's muted. I hope we're able to connect. People know how difficult it is to connect with anyone in Gaza, but Abubaker was very keen to join us, and we were very keen to have him. And it's so important to continue to hear from people in Gaza, to hear their voices, to hear their experiences. And what I'm hearing...
Here he is.
Hello, Abubaker.
Hi.
Hi.
Tell us how you're doing. We know that just before you joined us, there was a bombing close by. Are you okay? Is everything all right? Give us a sense of what's happening there.
It's all okay. It's all right, by the way, because I think there was an explosive bombing close from 𝐓𝐡𝐞 hospital in 𝐓𝐡𝐞 area, and it was it was massive, and we don't know whether there are casualties, but for sure, yes, there are casualties. But at the same time, yes, bombings haven't stopped since the early morning. And even now, if you can hear in the background, there are still continuous bombings happening right now. So the situation overall is good. We say it's good, but it's in fact very risky and unsafe.
Alhamdulillah ala salamitkum. And I don't know if you can see all of the messages in the chat from the many people, more than 2,000 people watching us live, who are saying that they're praying for your safety and the safety of your family, Abubaker. There's a lot of people sending you love.
I really thank every one of them, and I really appreciate that. You know, as you've said, it's been an absolute difficulty to join you today. But as I've told you, I was keen, I was insistent, and yes, I'm here with you today.
Abubaker, maybe we can bring up the piece that you wrote for us a few days ago. And have you talk a little bit about it. Let's see if we can find it. Yeah. So tell us about your latest feature that you wrote for the Electronic Intifada, and how you're able to work, to report, to write, to interview people under these conditions.
Well, look. This piece, particularly, is the hardest ever because it conveys the reality behind our life, my life particularly, and my family's right now under these circumstances. If you think about it, I really don't want to comment further, but look, since you have asked, I didn't know why I wrote this one and how I wrote this one, because literally, if I write more about the heartbreaks, about the atrocities my family and I are going through alongside people here around us, it's going to take millions of words. When you look at it and you read every single letter conveys a message, because it's gone beyond the literal and the connotation of what a tragedy means. During this Ramadan, now we are in the 23rd day of Ramadan. Ramadan should have been a month of contemplation, a month of relief, a month of closeness from God, a month of happiness and celebrations. But I really don't know what the word celebration means anymore.
Abubaker, I want to just share a few lines from your piece, and you're right. Every line, every word of it is very deeply moving and conveys so much. But you say, the background image on my mobile phone shows French fries and ketchup. Whenever my 2-year-old niece sees the phone, she licks its screen. Her own mother cannot give her enough food. My other nephews and nieces play a frightening war game. They imagine that a missile has hit and killed them. One of my sisters is pregnant. She is filled with dread. Just those 3 sentences capture so much. But I just want to ask you now, regarding you just now passed iftar time in Gaza, where people are breaking their fast. How are people breaking their fast? What is the situation in terms of just the most basic needs now? Food, water, medicine, and so on. And we know that that's leaving aside the constant risk of bombing and death from the air.
Yes, it's if you look at what people are breaking the fast on, it's absolutely heartbreaking, because initially, look, this is what we eat, because what we eat, as I've told you, the worst quality ever you can have in terms of food. And now, because this is something to bring you, by the way, and to bring the audience, I'm probably not the same as I talked to you earlier last month, because it's in fact that I'm ill. I'm very sick at the moment. I'm having a gastritis, and at the same time, I'm having a bacterial tendonitis. I'm sick. Tamara has known that, by the way, but I was insistent and keen to speak with you today. Look, why have I contracted this? It's because of the quality of food we are having and the malnutrition. How come people are now just breaking their fast on the little things they have, which is like lentil soup, some dates, and some dates that are not even, they are rotten. In fact, they're not even good to eat or to taste. It's at the same time that we don't eat. Look, eating sometimes gives you a sense of, enjoyment, of joy. And at the same time, eating is relief, is probably a therapy for most people. But how can this be if you really don't have anything to do for iftar and at the same time suhoor? I swear I'm taking more than 4 medications at the moment, so that I make sure that my stomach ache is not going to back anymore. It's not going to be back anymore. It is the same thing for the whole people here in the Gaza Strip. What we are receiving from food and water, the contaminated parts of all of this are absolutely lethal. That's why when you are going out in the streets and see people inside the hospitals, hospitals are filled with hepatitis A, with jaundice, and with infections at the same time. That's a symptom of the Israelis warring on Gaza. So that's why Ramadan is just a heartbreak.
And Abubaker, when you do go out into the streets, are there any agencies operating in Gaza? Is UNRWA operating in your area? Are there other international humanitarian agencies or charities operating in your area? Are they able to get food, medicine to people around you and your community?
Look, in my area, UNRWA is only operating in schools. That means only few people receive aid from medications, food, and other stuff. It's the same thing for most people. If UNRWA works only in schools, what about the thousands outside in tents and in the streets? What about the thousands in houses who have stayed in their houses under destroyed roofs? What about the others outside in the streets who are suffering and more injured at the same time? For the World Central Kitchen, because this has been a very viral topic over the course of time, the last time I spotted the World Central Kitchen was 2 days before the attack. They were operating around. A lot of people were benefiting from the World Central Kitchen, but it's the same thing again. It does just, meet the needs of only a tiny part of the population here in Deir al-Balah, where more than a million, more than 500,000 people are taking shelter. If it is about that, the humanitarian aid organizations are operating on the Gaza Strip, why are people ill? Why are the streets filled with injuries? If they are literally working, they are being sold in the open markets, the aid they are delivering. So how on earth are people saying that people are getting aid? No, it's in fact a big lie. Whatever they do, I'm sorry, I'm responsible for what I'm saying, because what they do is just for media purposes. That, oh, yeah, okay, we are doing this kind of stuff. People of Gaza, we're just, deriving people's sympathy around the world that we are working inside Gaza. Tell me why I should see my parents every day suffering. And about the medications, I haven't yet got any for my both parents. Okay, this is the same for my sister, who is still praying for God that she won't give birth until this horrific war ends. If this is true, also, why poor houses operate daily in the Gaza Strip? If the humanitarian aid organizations operate properly in the Gaza Strip, especially in Deir al-Balah, are they really operating? No, not in fact at all. They're doing just a tiny, process of what they are doing every day. Because a lot of people are depending mainly on poor houses, what we call in Arabic takiya. So this is from where they get food. And by the way, these poor houses are run by ordinary people here in the Gaza Strip. They are seeking ajr or reward. So where are the so-called humanitarian aid organization we are talking about? They're not here at all. And even when they operate, they're under attack by the Israeli occupation forces, which means that this is a deliberate act of starving the population in the Gaza Strip, and particularly in Deir al-Balah, where more people are still coming to Deir al-Balah and seek refuge, but the living circumstances are truly unbearable.
And when you say, Abu Bakr, that people are still coming into Deir al-Balah, do you know where they're coming from? What
Yes,
areas they're coming from?
There has been a big huge number of people coming from the latest Shifa raid. They somehow survived and came to seek refuge here in Deir al-Balah. They don't have anything, so they are completely lost. And at the same time, there are more people are trying to flee from the northern parts of Gaza, like 𝐓𝐡𝐞 𝐄𝐥𝐿, and other parts of those areas. But yes, they are not finding places because Deir al-Balah is being too overcrowded, and it is still getting increasingly overcrowded, where no aid, no food, no water is being given very enough for those starving people. And it's just like, that even in people can't find spaces in schools. Even schools are filled or are overcrowded. Even stadiums, football stadiums, all stadium in Deir al-Balah and the Gaza Strip that is still sound, Al-Dura Stadium, is now a sanctuary to more than 10,000 people coming from the north of Gaza. Even other clubs like Al Salah Football Club, which should be a stage for sports and entertainment, is now a sanctuary, is now a refuge for more than 1,000 people. So it's the same story. It's the same tragic story. And even if you talk about it for all eternity, it doesn't make any sense for the people who are behind this genocide.
Abubaker, you said that people who have been arriving in central Gaza, where you are, have been coming from neighborhoods around Al-Shifa Hospital, where for 2 continuous weeks, the Israeli army turned the hospital into a slaughterhouse, and as well destroyed the neighborhoods around the medical complex itself. Have you been talking with people who were forced to flee those neighborhoods around Al-Shifa, and
Yes.
if so, what have they been saying about what they endured, what they saw?
Yes, I talked to some of them. One of them told me that when the raid happened, the eyes of the soldiers looked bloodthirsty, that they wanted to kill everybody, that they wanted to strike everyone, everything in the hospital. so that they were not allowed to breathe, so their breaths are heard. And then the first thing the Israeli occupation forces told them when they raided the hospital, that they wouldn't harm any civilians, but just then they killed the 300 of them. At the same time, when they were arrested, for investigations, they were handcuffed, they were blindfolded, and they were at the same time, hand and feet bound. When that happened, if they were arrested for 2 consecutive days, that means they were not allowed to do anything all the time across the 2 days. If somebody, that included children, by the way, under the age of 10, when that happened, when a child was asking one of the Israeli occupation forces or soldiers that he wanted to see one of his family, he was shot between his legs. The same if somebody asked for some water. Even the fact that they were fasting did not push the Israeli occupation forces to deal with them from a religious and Islamic perspective. Given the fact that they are fasting and giving them food and water to break their fast or to have support, all of this hasn't been dealt with at all. And it's just that he told me, they treated us as as animals, that they were shouting at us, that they were not giving us any attention, that they were at the same time dealing with us with disdain. So that they're telling us that you're nothing for us. You are nothing. Even when they were when they were evacuated by them, they had to walk after torture, physically and mentally. They were forced to walk in the same way they were arrested, many kilometers, and then after 2 days of arrest, they were obliged to walk from Gaza to Deir al-Balah in the southern area and southern territory, just about, you're talking about at least 20 kilometers. That is a lot of suffering. So that's how they treated them.
And Abubaker, right now Israel continues to threaten Rafah. You're in Deir al-Balah, you're in the southern central area of Gaza. The next big city to the south is Rafah, which normally before the genocide had about 300,000 people, but now it's more than 1.5 million people. I've seen some reports who are sheltering there. And Israel continues to threaten that they will attack Rafah. What are people saying about that? Are you seeing people coming from Rafah to Deir al-Balah? Are people trying to now escape from Rafah? What can you tell us about that?
Yes, that's great to bring to the audience, because there is an important point, by the way. Across the last 2 weeks, there have been relentless attacks of the outskirts of Deir al-Balah, of the eastern outskirts of Deir al-Balah. That is the border with the Israeli forces. Now, given this fact, by the way, there was an abrupt invasion about a week ago of Deir al-Balah, the southern areas, in the pre-dawn. So people were traumatized and were terrified that the ground invasion would happen in Deir al-Balah. So people are still fleeing from Rafah to Deir al-Balah, by the way, but at the same time, there's speculations that Deir al-Balah is going to be invaded. They are very afraid that Deir al-Balah will be invaded earlier, because we've seen the analyses by military experts saying that Deir al-Balah would be a prior step to the Israeli military forces to invade, because they want to see if they want to operate there. So people are bewildered about where to go. It is the same thing for us here in Deir al-Balah, because Rafah is not safe, Deir al-Balah is not safe. At least over the last week, there have been more than 100 killed and hundreds injured and wounded in Deir al-Balah, including the ones in the kitchen and the 4 people that were killed. So you think that Deir al-Balah is safe, and you think that Rafah is safe. People are coming from Rafah, and people are coming from Deir al-Balah. Both areas are literally risky, but both areas, people don't know where to go. Both are unsafe. So it's just a matter of waiting and seeing the news confirmed and waiting for leaflets thrown by the Israeli forces to see which area is going to be invaded, as they did, because a leaflet or leaflets were thrown over there around 2 days ago, and it said, those leaflets said or read that the Israeli occupation forces will go into every meter of the Gaza Strip, will enter every meter of the Gaza Strip. So that's why it has been causing a lot of panic and a lot of terror among people.
Finally, Abubaker, we just have a couple minutes left, but what, you know, we also had a story on EI just a few days ago about a man who is building and maintaining a garden in Gaza, and I was speaking to someone the other day who said, you know, it's really important to also remember. Yeah, there's the story. Also remember that Gaza is a beautiful place and still has an immense amount of beauty, even though Israel is trying to destroy it. Can you talk about your Gaza and where you find beauty these days?
Well, this is a great task because it's really important to switch the conversation. The topic has been quite miserable, to be honest, so we can really smile now. Look, now the beauty of Gaza is still there all the time. Now, the people, what we are looking for the most, what we are looking at the most, is the little plants growing around. So as I wrote in the base, I was just like, you know, planting some basil. And by the way, the good news is that I have despite all the circumstances, despite all the miserable and hard circumstances, I have a yellow rose that is now growing very well, by the way. And when the roses are out, I will show them to you, inshallah. So it's going to be great that those roses are going to be growing and that they will be looking very beautiful and will reflect the unprecedented, unmatched beauty of the Gaza Strip. Because that's why even the basil, even the roses, even the plants we are having here, all reflect the inside of our souls, because our souls are beautiful, because our souls are sincere, and they and at the same time lovely. I believe so. That's why we still have these plants in our area. So Gaza will come back to its beauty one day, it's for sure. And that everyone should feel hope. There's no reason in the world, even the Israeli forces, even amidst the bombing, the destruction, and everything, there's no reason that anybody can really upset us. That we are still smiling. I'm still happy that I'm with you, and that the genocide and everything. No, I'm so happy. And by the way, I'm very happy. I'm delighted to be with you, and that the roses will be out again. I'm very sure. I'm very, very confident, by the way, about that. And I'm still watching it every day, because this is the beauty of our souls, not the beauty of plants. This is the beauty of causing people, not the beauty, not the destruction. The destruction will not impede us. The destruction will not stop us from seeing beautiful things. That's our soul. That's our essence, and it's something that we want to convey to the world, that we are going to see Gaza beautiful today, tomorrow, and every time. That's what we believe in.
Abubaker, you are a beautiful soul, and I personally, and I know many of us will be waiting to see the photos of your yellow roses. Wow. And I know now that the yellow rose for all of us will take on a wonderful symbolic significance. And we're seeing, just so you know, how many messages of love and support there are. People are very moved by what you're saying. And by your
Thank
continued reporting and writing and continuing to bear witness to what's happening, and we will try to keep doing our part, which is to continue to raise our voices in every way that we can to end this genocide, to stop this massacre. And I'm looking forward to the day when I can visit you in this beautiful Gaza once again.
Thank you so much. Finally, I have a message to all of you, to the viewers and everyone. It's very important to tell you that, believe me, that this time and every time with you, you are the echo of our voices. We are absolutely nothing without you, the echo of our voices. And even when you told me last time that people don't know anything about the electric intifada, I told them, and they were utterly happy about that. And every comment for the audience who are writing to me at the moment, every comment I read, every literal comment I read, that inspires and empowers me to continue. I'm proud that I write. I'm proud that people listen to us. But what I want to say in the end, that sometimes, as I've told you, and I will say it all the time, even under the worst circumstances, when you find your people, you find your healing word. That is literally you. That is literally you. So that's why I'm healing all the time, because of you. You are our healing word here in the Gaza Strip, the echo of our voices. And by the way, you will be the beautiful leaves of the yellow roses that will be coming out soon.
Abubaker, we are so grateful and so privileged to know you and to work with you. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. And we'll have you on literally anytime. So please come back soon.
Anytime.
Send us those photos. Back. Yeah.
I literally, like, you're very welcome. And I'm telling you all the time, the honor is mine, the happiness is mine, the happiness is our family. And also, it will always be my pleasure. I'm honored and I'm pleased and I'm delighted. So thanks to every one of you. And by the way, if I survive, you probably need to listen from me a lot of thanks to every one of you. So thank you so much.
Of course.
Abubaker
Abed, our contributor live from the Gaza Strip. Of course, you can go to electronicintifada.net, read his latest story, A Ramadan of Heartbreak. Leave comments on the story because Abubaker reads them. And we'll have you back on very soon. Please be safe, of course, as much as possible.
The very
Thanks,
best.
Abubaker.
Thank you, Abubaker. We'll see you soon.
Sure.
A lion of Gaza, indeed.
Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit like, leave a comment. These engagements help us with the YouTube algorithm, and it helps us to get around Silicon Valley censorship as much as possible. It does make a difference. You can also support our journalism by going to electronicintifada.net and clicking on donate now. Thank you.